Oh, it's on?
Yes, it's on.
Hi friends, you're here. I'm having a delightful glass of tea. Okay, let me hit record. It's on.
Okay.
Okay, this is episode 20.
What did Jay say about episode 20?
Apparently, that when there are two milestones in podcasting, episode 8 and 20, and if you get to episode 20, you're going to survive.
We made it.
We've made it.
Also excited because today is my birthday.
It's your birthday.
But
okay.
it's not going to be my birthday when this airs.
No, so we're recording the 20th episode on the 20th of November.
November 20th.
Which is your birthday.
My birthday.
So happy birthday to you.
And I had caffeine for the first time today because I went to Starbucks to get my free coffee for my birthday, and the guy was like, I'm not giving you decaf on your birthday.
He talked you into it.
And now I'm like,
You're
really
hyped
hyper.
up.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Not
and
the
then,
first time you've had caffeine in your life, though.
No. I gave up caffeine in February of 2019.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
That is
Almost
a long
year.
time.
I broke it today. That's fine. It feels great though. I feel like I could conquer the world from one cup of coffee.
We can't wait to hear everything you're going to tell us.
And I thought it was funny because one of our listeners, Casey,
Yes.
she did this really cute birthday shout out on her
Yes.
Instagram. And she said that we were just fun to listen to and that we are teaching other realtors how to be nice. And I was like, that's perfect.
If I can take credit for that, I am fully on board. Y'all
I just
all
thought
need to
that
be
was
nice.
so funny. I was
Oh.
like, that is just, it wasn't like your typical generic message. It was like,
No,
this is how I feel about your podcast.
I'm so glad you're teaching people to
You're
be
just
nice.
so fun to watch and listen
I
to.
know. We're trying to have fun, right?
Right. So anyway, episode 20, what is it about?
I don't know the name of it yet.
Okay.
Sometimes we post-produce that.
Mhm.
But it's Seasons of Life. And we should also mention, even though we are recording this on your birthday, this will air the week of Christmas.
That's exciting.
So it's maybe going to be a nice little just chat about the seasons of life and, I don't know,
What did
whatever
you call it? What kind of conversation?
a fireside chat.
A fireside chat.
We
We're
did
not
turn-
going to go anywhere too heavy during this holiday season.
No, well, we were going to do a different episode, but it didn't make sense on the week of Christmas to, like, make people
Think.
think.
Yeah. We just want you to be content where you are.
That's right. We're just here to encourage you to be content.
Yes.
I think that's
Embrace
okay.
your season, embrace the holidays, nothing too stressful,
Right.
but still very motivating, and we have some really good content today.
I think that's good. Okay, do you want to start us off? I don't.
Yeah, so this episode was actually requested a couple of weeks ago from an engineer.
Oh, I like that.
So we have an engineer listener,
I'll take them all.
and she is a young female
Okay.
in a very man-dominant industry.
Yeah, for sure.
And also just starting so young, she really had to prove her worth, prove how smart she is. She's like the smartest person I know.
Makes sense. Well, engineers in general.
Yeah, she was my college roommate for a little
Oh,
while,
that's cool.
and we had a dry erase board, and she did this math problem on it, and I was
It was like Good Will Hunting.
yeah, I was like, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's so easy. But she understands like the struggle of just like being in a position that maybe people don't think that you have earned, and having to prove your worth,
Yeah.
and how smart and prepared you are. And the only way to really do that is to like win people over with confidence.
Yes.
And you have to prove your professionalism, and that just takes time.
Exactly. It's so much easier to come to people and say, I've been doing this for 5 years, and you gain instant credibility that's different than I started in real estate 5 months ago.
Right.
Or I started engineering, last year.
Right.
People are going to give you, you might not be an even great whatever you are, just over time you automatically get credibility.
Well, like in the beginning of real estate, I wasn't great.
No.
I didn't know a lot of things.
Yeah, it takes
It
practice.
took some time. I
Yeah.
had to earn the respect of others.
I'm going to tell you, ever since probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years, but now when I say I've been doing this 14 years, it's just like people will blindly follow you into anything because, okay, well, you've been here long enough, you've survived,
Right.
you're still like working, and clearly you've got to know what you're talking about by now.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like too, like on all the coffee dates, Like, here I am at year 8, and here they are in the trenches, and I think I've said this before, but it's like they don't believe that I went through that.
Yes.
But I did.
I know.
Like, I went through the disappointment.
Well, I think that's what's the fun thing about the angle of the podcast, too. When we're talking about this, I don't think we're so far removed from it that we don't remember what it was like to be new and lost. And
I still have moments where I'm like, feel like,
am I really doing this?
Yeah, every situation is so different, and you're
different.
always coming across new situations, and you're having to adapt, and every now and then something will happen that will just affect me emotionally,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm like, dang, I haven't been emotional over something in a couple of years.
Right.
And it'll just get me.
Yep.
So you have to go through the beginning to get to where you want to go.
Yes.
But the problem is people are trying to rush the process.
Yes.
And they're not enjoying it, and they're not appreciating it for what it's offering to them.
I agree. There are things about being new that you have that you won't have once you've made it.
Right.
Those are my air quotes. You've got so much more time on your side. So when you're new, you have the time that your clients need. And sometimes I think that we're afraid to play up the newness that we have to, especially to new buyers or sellers. We're afraid that they're going to think we're inexperienced and not going to want to work with us. But if you put it to them in the way that you're saying, I am new, I am eager to learn, I have XYZ resources, my broker's amazing, I've got, other agents that I partner with that can answer my questions, and on top of all that, I have time for you. I have all the time for you.
Yeah.
You're my number one priority.
I used to try to hide my newness, which
Yep.
was hard to do since I looked like I was 15, But
Right, people probably still think you're new
I
sometimes.
know, they do. But it's like I tried to, when I was hiding from it, I was losing listing appointments. They were never choosing me. And then once I started being like, hey, I'm young, I'm 21 years old, and this is why I'm going to be better than this other person because I have the time.
Yep.
You're going to be my person. I'm going to dedicate all of my time and energy to you. And then I finally started getting some progress, and the numbers started working.
Right.
But you just have to go through those things and
Well, you have to embrace your current
embrace
position.
your current position.
So where you are, figure out what it is and embrace it. I think I have in my notes to take stock of where you are, not just in your business. So be mindful of where you are in your business, but also where are you in your season of life?
Yeah.
They
have to match.
Are you young and single, got lots of time in your hands? Are you married? Do you have children or pets or, older parents that you care for? Like, what is your season of life?
Are you older and retired and
Right.
this is your retirement career?
Yes.
Are you in real estate wanting to retire from real estate? 'Cause
Right.
You've been doing it for 30 or 40 years.
Right.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, well, for sure, because the average age of realtors is 55.
Yeah.
So, there's just a natural progression towards retirement or, whatever.
I heard a quote I'm going to share.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay. It says, to be content doesn't mean that you don't desire more.
I think that's great.
It means that you're thankful for what you have while being patient for what's to come.
Love it.
It just sums it up in a nutshell. That's basically what the episode is about. It is fine to be content with your numbers and with where you are right now. That doesn't mean that you don't want to grow. It just means that you're thankful for what you do have, and you know that with time and effort that you will reach more goals if that's your goal.
If that's your goal. I love that. That was a really good quote. I think we can just end the episode now.
We can end it. It's funny because I was trying to find a good quote, and there are not a lot of good quotes about embracing, like, just sitting still.
Well, because it's all about
more. Yeah, what's your next goal? What are you going to grow to?
Make those goals happen.
Yes, it was very hard.
Success.
Yes.
If you honestly, and that was the way back in, I don't remember which one, maybe our Mindset episode 3, we did some good quotes, and my favorite one is that Maya Angelou, and I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not going to try and butcher it, but it's talking about success is you being happy with where you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it. That's all success is, and if we can actually beat that into our own mindsets, then we're going to be a lot better off for it.
I wish I could go back to my new self and be like, hey, look around.
Right.
This is not going to be here forever. This is not how your business is going to be forever. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. Because looking back on it, like, I just feel like I wish I didn't believe that things would get better
Yes.
all the time.
Yes. And I still think I find that seasonally and cyclically. Like, I am probably just now getting to the point where I could say, I know it's going to get better. If it's a slow week or a slow month or a slow year, I've been in it long enough to know it's not going to stop. It's not going to be the end. You know, January's slow. That's okay. By April, it's going to be, you know, crazy again.
Yeah.
I just think it took so much time and the repeating of the cycles and the repeating of the seasons to realize that it's going to come.
Yeah.
And this is probably the first year when I've said, I'm okay if I'm slow this week. How can that benefit my family? Like, how can that benefit some other part of my life? Like, if I'm not crazy running around doing real estate, what else can I do? And then it's just a matter of keeping the balance where you don't lose focus on the real estate completely.
Right.
Because I am very much, like, what I'm focused on seems to manifest. So if I'm only thinking about family stuff or school volunteering or whatever it is, then I'm gonna get more of that. I gotta weave in a little bit of the real estate. But you know, honestly now, I can't go to school without another parent asking me about real estate.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's how it, but when you're in it long enough, that's what people will know you for.
Yeah.
As long as you're putting it out there in a non-salesy way.
And that's kind of the beauty of real estate in any job similar. It's just that you get busier, but it gets easier. So
agree.
I'm not having to do a bunch of the hustle and bustle things that I did years 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Because now it's like my phone rings off the hook with referrals and people being like, when can you come look at my house? We want to buy next year. I've recently had someone ask me if I had a wait list.
Were you like, I'm about to?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. But no, I don't have a wait list.
I've actually used the words, I am taking new clients right now. Because then I thought, oh my God, am I at a place where I could say I'm not taking new clients? Look, y'all, I'm not saying that I'm there. But
I like that though. Yeah.
Like, there's got to be, and it's okay for people, and it's awesome that they ask you, do you have time for me? Like, are you taking on new clients?
Yeah.
Y'all really think about that. Maybe you have too many on your plate right now, and it's going to be a disservice to take on more. We're kind of getting on a tangent.
Or you can't meet them until next week.
Well,
who cares?
People will wait for you.
Yeah,
the people who want you will wait for you.
So when we were talking about this episode, we kind of divided the seasons into a couple of different real estate seasons.
Yes.
We divided it into the new agent,
right?
The established agent,
Okay.
the on your way out agent, so whatever that means for you, retirement or whatever, and then not new but not growing.
Okay.
And none of these are bad or wrong.
No, they're just where you are.
They're just where you are.
And you can move from one to the other if you so choose.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we also talked a little bit about, I feel like I was in a class where they were talking about the cycles of business, where it's growth. Did you write them down? Growth, plateau, and then decline. But you can be in a growth phase in any one of those seasons that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So even though you may be on your way to retirement, your business may be growing and you don't want it to. Or your business may be at a plateau when you're new and you're trying to figure out how to break into the next level. Or your business may be in a decline even though you have been a busy, at your peak for a while. So I think that there are cycles in business based on your activities, more likely than not, that you could change no matter where you are in your season.
And we're not using this episode to blame your production on your season.
No.
This has a lot of personal accountability involved and
self-awareness.
Yes.
And some self-reflection. Think about where you are. Do you feel a pull to do more? I think you and I, and how this whole podcast has really started, is maybe we don't want to feel like you have to have more than what you have. What you have is okay. And I'm just I look at my numbers every year just like you do. At the end of the year, I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm just starting to realize that I've been on a plateau. This will be my 4th year in a row with very similar numbers, but they're similar and they're good for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm not like, oh no. And, I have other things that I'm interested in. I mean, that's how the podcast was born. So even if your business is at a plateau, but you're in a place where you're happy, that is okay.
Yeah.
I think that's okay to embrace that.
I would agree.
I want you to tell me about your season right now.
Okay. I feel like I'm coming out of a season. So 2018, I feel like my season was figuring out life with a child.
Yep.
And it was still a good year. It was down from the previous year,
Which was crazy.
which was just a crazy year.
Okay.
And then 2019, it was like I was back in my groove. We had our schedules. We figured out what to do, and we're just kind of on autopilot. And 2019 will be my record year so far.
Love it.
Best year. So I guess it's growth. But for 2020, it's funny because you would think coming off of like my best year, I would be like, I don't know. I'm excited to do it again.
Okay.
Like to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that much.
Right.
But I felt like it wasn't that. I don't want to say it wasn't hard,
you
but
didn't
it didn't
like
stress
stretched.
me out. Yeah, it was just I just went with the flow. I followed my systems. I time managed well. I feel like I could do it again.
Yeah.
And then it makes me think too, like if we want baby number 2 at some point in the near future, 2021 there might be another human life in our household.
Right.
So it's almost like I'm excited to be in this phase of life right now
Yes.
where me and my family are just in a good place.
Yeah.
We know our schedules, we know our routines. Life is pretty easy with where we are
That's
as a
good.
family. So I just feel energized, like I can conquer work too.
I love it.
And then when our season changes, kind of taking a step back and still working, of course. I mean, I have to, but giving myself some grace.
Yeah.
Like you can't kill yourself trying to be everywhere and be everything,
No.
and you can't compare where you are right now to somebody else's.
Right.
And I had that happen a lot on the coffee dates.
Yes.
Like a lot of people that met me for coffee, I just want to do your numbers, I just want to do your volume, and I'm like, that's great, but like let's talk about, how are you planning on getting there? What is your phase of life right now? It's okay if you need to travel to take care of your dad. It's okay, like
Right.
maybe the answer isn't no, it's just not right now.
Well, I would like to interject here. As someone who is not at your level of volume or numbers and will likely never be, I don't think that it's wrong to desire to have more, but you have to know your own limits.
Yeah.
And I just think that, if you're willing to learn and grow and do the hard work, then yes, you can do as much as you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've gotten to points where I'm like, okay, I know I can do additional X, whatever it is, and I could maybe increase my business, but maybe I don't want to give up that
Right.
time.
Well, a lot of people that I met with for coffee would say, I want to do what you're doing, but I don't want to quit this other job.
Well, that's just never
Or,
going to work.
or I don't want to give up this side hustle, or I don't want to give up, whatever it is. But it's like my life is pretty simple.
Yeah,
There's not really a lot of fluff. It's either I'm working
yeah,
or I'm with my friends who are like that's just my sphere.
well, your
or
life
with
is
my
very
family.
streamlined too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
There's
not a lot of.
of fluff in there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think and look, this is a great time to talk about this. People do not understand. They think I can just achieve, and I am right there with them. I am being close to you and like getting to hear what you do and more and learn more and more about you. This is a perfect example, and it's the Christmas week, so it's even better.
Oh gosh,
I think this is fair to share. Can I share this?
you're gonna expose me.
We were talking about, I brought over some decor to make your house like fall-like, and I guess we started talking about Christmas decor, and I said, oh, well, what do you do? And you said, I don't have any Christmas decor. And I'm like, I don't think I understand this. You have ornaments for a tree? And you're like, no, but now that your daughter is getting older, you feel like maybe you want to have some more festive items in your home, and it hit me like a lightning bolt. The reason why you have time to do the things that I can't is because I am at Hobby Lobby buying all the Christmas.
Yeah.
I am at, and that makes me happy, and that's a part of my life that I enjoy.
You don't want to give that up.
It's okay that you don't have decorations for Christmas, but I was like, oh, it finally made sense. Like, y'all don't realize how many things you're doing that others are not, that take up time, that other people aren't doing.
Right.
So you can be more successful if you want to devote more time to that endeavor, and if you don't want to devote more time to that endeavor, then maybe you're okay with your plateau, and that's where I'm at. But I thought that was hilarious. You're like, I don't have any. I'm like, I can't, this doesn't compute with me.
But it's like you can't kick yourself for not doing 20 million if you still have a part-time job. Or
right.
if you still have something else that's taking up your time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be you have to have a talk with yourself.
Yes.
And be like, I am fine with doing 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, whatever your number is, because I am making the conscious decision that I don't want to give up X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, I don't want to give up going to Hobby Lobby.
Fine.
Or
Don't.
where, oh my God, no worries, I'm not gonna. But you know what? The more we do this, the more I feel convicted in that I'm doing the right thing for me. And I hope that's how everyone else is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like that they are hearing that there are different ways to do it and they can be convicted in whatever's making them happy.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
That's what it's all about.
I think so too. So I'll do my season because what I have learned, and very interestingly, my children are in grade school now. So we went through babies, we went through diapers, I have 2 kids, and they are now at school hours. So they leave the house at 7:10 and they are in aftercare, which we usually get them by 4. It has been very interesting to me, and so this will be our 3rd year of this schedule. What happened was I got these 2 hours back from 7 to 9 that I never had with babies, and that before babies, quite honestly, I slept late.
Right.
Not later than 9, but like I was sleeping until then.
Sure.
So I got these 2 hours back in the morning, and that's the season I'm in where I can get things under control before the day really like takes off and
That's
people
awesome.
are needing things and you have appointments, and I never schedule appointments before 9.
Right.
And I use those 2 hours when the kids have gone to school to get things done or to work out. This is the first time I've exercised regularly in my life. So for a whole year, I get up every day and I exercise.
That's your season.
It's the season I'm in. So my kids are at school, that's the season. But what comes with that is very difficult summers because they are home.
Yeah.
I mean, I
remember you in the trenches of summer.
Yeah, we couldn't start the podcast until August because I had to wait for them to go back to school.
Right.
Like, it's just very difficult, and it's okay. And I try to levelize the amount of stress I feel about not working hard during the summer, especially being real estate is busy in the summer.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing to navigate, but it can be done, and you have to give yourself grace.
Right.
So that's kind of
You
where
don't
I'm
want to
at.
miss your kids' summer and your kids remembering summer as the time they never saw their mom when they were off at school.
Right. And oh, that brings up a very interesting point. So Sarah Riley also requested this episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hers was a little bit of career versus family, and she mentioned in her request that it was okay for your kids to see you working.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really nice and important sentiment. If you are in the season of life where you have children, it's okay for them to see you working. I don't take them to every appointment, but I've had to take them to a showing. I've had to take them to an inspection. Like, I mean, if you have to, you do it.
Right.
Except for that one time with your clients, it's typically well received.
Yeah, most of the time they don't care if you have to do that.
Yeah, I think it's fine. So just give yourself grace for whatever season you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I'm at.
And what I think is interesting too is I feel like we became friends a few years ago, probably as you were new into this season.
Oh, yes.
So you're new into having an extra 2 hours, and like you have a little bit more time, and you can get your like creative energy thinking because you have time to do things.
Yep.
You could have plunged straight into prospecting more real estate, joining more groups, handwriting more letters, asking for referrals. Like, you could have chosen to exponentially grow your business.
True.
Your real estate business.
Yeah.
But you did not want to.
No.
Not really. I mean, you felt like that's what you were supposed to do.
Yes.
But it's not really what you wanted to do.
This is probably a new thing I'm okay with, though.
Right.
The plateau that I'm at is a number that some people never get to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an embarrassing place to be.
No.
And I think I have that, industry nonsense noise that was like, do more, be more. Why aren't you getting to 10 million every year?
Well, it's funny because I feel like the first couple of conversations we ever had, it seemed like you wanted to do more, but did not want to do more.
Right.
Like, you wanted to pick my brain about what I was doing, but you didn't really want that for yourself.
It wasn't realistic for me.
And you knew that, and then I feel like once you came to peace with it and decided, look, I'm going to tune out all the noise and what everybody else says I should be doing, and I want to do something more creative. I want to work on an e-course, or I want to do whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's true, though. That's how that really, and it was an interesting, this is really going on a tangent. It was an interesting point in time for me, too, because at the beginning of this year specifically, when we started talking more about feeling a pull to do more, and I talked to other agents who were having the same feeling right now. It almost came out like I didn't want to go on that regular path. I don't want to have a team. I don't want to be a broker. And I felt like, you know, when people start to come up to you in 14 years in the business and they see you're doing well and they respect you, they say, when are you going to be a broker? When are you going to own an office? When are you going to have a team? When are you going to have an assistant? When are you like, you know, and you're like, but I don't. That doesn't excite me.
Not on my agenda.
Right, maybe I don't want to manage people. And I think that was an interesting thing I've come to this year. And so you're right, it changes. Hey, everybody, guess what? You can change. You can pivot, you can grow, you can decide to have more transactions or have less.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
Or to just stay where you are and make room for something else that you want to do.
You can become a home stager along with your real estate business. Now, you know, I'm not a big proponent of part-time agents.
Yeah.
I do think that real estate requires full-time attention, but I think there are ways to add layers to your business that makes sense.
Sure. And that's the thing. You really have to evaluate, does it make sense?
Right. Agree. Okay, so we know our seasons.
Yeah.
What other, okay, so we talked a little bit about times in life too. Like if your season was young, professional, or maybe single, have a lot of time. Like, let's talk about that a little bit.
Looking back when I was new and I was 22 and, you know, we were newlyweds, or I don't even think we were married the first 2 years I was in real estate, I was so freaking social.
You were.
I was at everything.
Oh.
I was at everything that I could have been invited, and I thrived off of it.
You love it.
Like 4 nights a week, I was having dinner or drinks with some group or some friend. Like, I was just always, like, my husband is in law enforcement, works a lot of nights. We didn't have a baby, so I would just be like, hey, who wants to grab dinner tonight? And, like, I was just thriving in that. And I can remember, even when I got pregnant, I was like, it cut out the cocktails.
Right. Your happy hour was less happy.
So my happy hours were just kind of like smaller.
Yeah.
And I was kind of grieving because I was realizing, oh man, like this season of life is changing and I'm not sure how I feel about it. And then I started getting more dinners instead of happy hours with friends.
Yeah.
And calling different friends like that are in similar seasons that maybe I haven't seen in a while. And then, you know, she was born and it was pretty much like dinner and happy hour with friends was like gone.
Right.
For a little while.
Yeah.
You know, while we were adjusting, and it definitely wasn't 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned to, well, I can have lunch with people. Like, I need to be home in the evenings, but I can go have lunch or brunch with somebody.
Yes.
So her first year of life, I had a lot of breakfast dates.
That's cool.
A lot of lunch dates. But it's just funny how life forces you to make the changes that you need to make.
Yes.
And I do think it goes back to personal accountability, and that you have to just look at where are you and not say, okay, like if I would have said, oh, well, I had a baby this year, so I'm not working at all.
Right.
For me personally, that would have been detrimental to my family.
Right.
Like you can't just drop everything because of one life event.
Agree.
You have to keep things moving in the right direction. And you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So it's really, you know, taking inventory of where you are, what you're capable of doing, and are you doing what you're capable of doing?
Well, that's true too.
Maybe you're not. Maybe you could be doing more. I mean, we all know those people that want to be like, my business is just not good this year. I'm not doing well in this or that. And it, you know, sometimes you just got to say, do you think that you had any part in that? Like, are you how are you treating people? Do people know that you're out there? Are you interacting? Are you loving people? Are you being present?
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be a little bit of a hit in the face.
Right. I mean, look, none of us are giving 100% all the time,
No.
but you can't just blame your season in life on your success or lack of.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it makes you more successful, honestly, if you lean into what season you're in.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm at school a lot. Well, great. So I talk to people at school about real estate.
And that's your sphere now. And
it
that's
works
where
out fine.
you get business from.
Yeah, you just got to be out there. I like what you just said, though. You have to schedule with your season.
Mm-hmm.
So just like my mornings got freed up, you lost your nighttime, happy hour. But you didn't lose the social activities.
No.
You just changed your schedule.
Right.
I think that's fair.
And I kind of complained about it a little bit, but then I was like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Well, that's all right. You can complain or you
Took
can
some
grieve.
adjustment. I think I grieved it. I think
that's
to
okay.
this day, sometimes I grieve it.
Well,
Like
she's not that old.
I know she's almost 3, but
She hasn't
sometimes
been
I
here
see
that long.
people having like happy hours and
Yeah.
things. I'm like, I used to be invited.
Right.
I don't even get invited anymore.
Because you're a mom.
I know.
Mom life is hard though, because it comes with guilt, and I think we had that in our notes too. Because please, people who are not moms, whether by choice or age or whatever the case may be, just know that at least you don't have to deal with mom guilt.
Mom guilt is no fun.
It's no fun. I mean, there are people who I know like go through a lot to have children, and so I certainly don't want to complain. But it's really weird and tough when you're like, a professional who's working full time in a business that can use up all of your time.
Yeah, it can.
It can use up every bit of it.
As much as you want to do, it'll take it.
It'll take every single one of your minutes if you give it to it. So if you don't have the mom guilt right now, count your blessings and go out there and use that time wisely while you can.
And if you do have the mom guilt, I think the only way that I can battle mom guilt is by really evaluating where do I need to be with her, when can I pick her up, when I'm with her, is she getting my attention and my time and like a good part of me and not just what's left over after I've been beat up all day by work.
I think that's good. You're good at kind of holding yourself to that. And Lee Brown in her episode talks about airplane mode, picking her kids up from school, being available for that time frame right after school and not scheduling them. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yes, be present. Don't just be in the room, but still doing the work.
Yeah.
What's the point then?
Yeah.
Might as well have left him at the daycare.
And again, not perfect. There are times where I'm like, hey, I have got to pull out my computer for 5 minutes to do something, and then I'm done,
I think that's okay. I do feel the guilt the whole time it's out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, I'm like, oh God, this is taking too long. I have to hurry.
Hurry up.
I've got to be back with the family. So it is what it is. I think that just you gotta know where you are. Self-awareness.
How do you battle like when you get the thoughts of like inadequacy of I should do more, my numbers suck?
I'm not good at this.
How do you get out of the funk?
That's a great question because I think some days are better than others.
Yeah.
So I've never hit 10 million. I've gotten really close a lot. I might this year, I don't know, but I've gotten really close a lot of times, but it's an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to be like, you actually don't care.
Do you care?
I don't care. I used to care.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better at just being like, I have devoted as much time to this as I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be there for my kids. Yes, maybe when my children are, they're 7 and 9. They're about to be 7 and 10. So like there's not that much time left when they're even I'm gonna have to watch them. Like there's just this little tiny window when I have to be available and they want to be around me. So trying to be super mindful of that. Sure. And when that time passes, if I want to sell 10 million, well, I'm not going to stop selling real estate. Mm-hmm. I tell clients all the time when I meet new buyers and they're like, well, I don't know, we're just getting started. I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Like, you want to buy a house in 3 years? Fine, just let me know. But maybe then I'll have a wait list.
Right. Good old wait list.
You just never know. I don't know if I'm bad. I don't know if I'm getting through it right.
Well, I just came back from our company's top of the ladder retreat, which is the top 30 in our company, which is like Gulf South area.
Right.
But I am the youngest in the group, of course. Like,
this is not a shock.
But not by like a little bit.
By a lot?
Yes.
What is do you know the next oldest person from you?
I don't.
I mean, today's your birthday.
I know. 1 year closer to them. I don't, but
It's a noticeable gap.
Noticeable gap. Well, there's like one or two in the middle between me and the uppers.
Yeah.
But I am fascinated with the older generation of realtors.
Okay, why?
Okay, so these people are still killing it.
Right, clearly.
They're not on social media.
Oh.
If they are, it's like some new agent is managing it, and it's like not good content. It's just like links to listings over and over. Like it's not interactive. They don't even know they have a Facebook.
Right.
They're not doing any sort of mail outs or like they are just have been doing this for so
long. The
long.
train has left the station.
Yeah, and you know, we all know that the realtors that have checked out and need to retire because they are not keeping up with how business is being done. These aren't those people.
No.
Okay, these people are like up to date with what they need to be up to date with. They're still high producing, selling a lot of real estate, can negotiate a contract better than anybody, can overcome any objection because they're at this point 40 years in, there is not an objection they haven't come to.
Well, and they do it with authority. They're like, I know. I have such a basis of knowledge. I know the answer.
Right. And it's like, it's fascinating in some ways.
Yeah.
But I was talking to one of them who does not need to sell another house the rest of her life.
Oh, she's like, this is good.
Yeah, like she could have retired 10 years ago.
And so it's all just like...
This is just Lanyap. Like, for our non-Southern friends.
I was gonna say
they're gonna be Lanyap is just extra. This is just extra.
Yes.
But I asked her over drinks. We're sitting at a pub and we're just like having drinks and I'm like, so why are you doing this?
Ooh, good. I want to hear it.
And she said, well, my best friend in the office, another older lady who was not on the trip, can't retire. Like she has to keep working financially. Okay. And I'm just not ready to leave her by herself at work.
She's doing it to be with her friends.
She's just doing it to be with her friends and make money on the side.
She happens to be killing it in real estate, but she's just doing it to hang out with her friends.
Yeah, she doesn't need any of it. She doesn't, and it's just cool to learn like the motivation behind people.
Yes.
And that's also why she like never appears stressed out ever.
Because it doesn't matter.
None of it matters. She is just living her life.
Wow.
Traveling when she wants to travel. She is on top of answering her email when she travels.
Good for her.
Like, she just is enjoying it at this point.
Do you think that her business got busier when she hit 10 years ago and was like, I don't really have to do this anymore?
Probably.
It's like you can't fend it off.
Right.
I've said that before. Sometimes I'll be like, ooh, it would be great if I had like a slow whatever month. I've got a lot going on. And then like you just can't, like it just comes to you.
Right.
It's going to, someone in my office once told me that it was around year 5 that you would start getting the referrals. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I guess at that point you've been in it long enough that people think it's going to stick for you. New agents, seriously, people think that you're not going to make it because so many new agents.
Oh, look, another new realtor.
Exactly.
Another person took 3 weeks and got their real estate license. Here we go again.
Right. Just get through it. If you get to year 5, you automatically have credibility.
Yeah.
And that's when referrals start to come in. And she was pretty right. And I will tell you, it grows exponentially. And I'm sure you see this. So every year that you are further in the business, that comes to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be available and you have to answer the phone and you have to handle it, but it's not going to be nearly as difficult.
There's no way to shorten the time it takes to get to year 5.
That was part of what we wanted to accomplish in this episode.
Yes.
Like, it takes 5 years to get to 5 years.
Right. So, what are you doing in your 5 years? You can't just be like complaining and sulking and wishing it was easier and having your venting session with your friends every single day about how crappy the market is or people are, and like we all know those people. And so year 1 through 5, if you do what you're supposed to be doing and you make it to year 5, it only gets easier.
It only gets easier.
I said the other day, year 8 is great. It's
great. It is great. Well, I'm telling you.
If you do what you're supposed to do.
Yes. Every year beyond 5 is easier and easier.
There was another agent that I was talking to recently that even though she's been in the business for a full year, we were like, well, that doesn't count. Because you didn't do what you were supposed to your first year.
Oh, you got to start over again?
Yeah, and she brought that up, not me. She said, like, I know I didn't do what I know I could do. I know that I was like, I didn't discipline myself.
Right.
I didn't give myself structure. I didn't I didn't organize my database.
Yeah.
I was like, your clock to 5 years doesn't start ticking until you at least have 100 people in your database.
You gotta put on the pavement for 5 years.
You gotta at least have a database to be considered started.
I think that's fair. That's hilarious.
And we won't spend too much time on the phase of new because on episode 17 we just did what to do when you're new.
And it really gets super specific.
We don't need to be too redundant about that.
I think that's fine.
But you do have to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
So that way you can get to year 5 and reap the benefits of this industry.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we have the mom life season down because that's what we're both in. And each part of mom life is so different because babies, that's tough. Yeah. I remember crying on the phone. My sister drove over to help with the baby because I'm like, I literally can't make a phone call and I have to make this phone call or we're not going to pay our mortgage. Yeah. So I need help. Help me.
Come over.
I'm drowning. Help me. And the baby's room was next to my office and I literally couldn't talk on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so hot. Those days are so hard, but they're so short.
Yeah, they are short. Now that it's over, I'm like, that was fast.
That was super fast. And now it's just totally different because my kids know, we've talked about this before, Mom's on a work call. I can do it in the car.
Yeah.
They know. Be quiet. Occasionally there's an outburst, but it's pretty well in check. And it's okay. It's going to be okay. Sometimes they I think they're listening. Maybe they'll learn a little bit about negotiation.
Well, you know what's funny? I was thinking, this is total tangent, but I was thinking about our podcast and how it's going to be there forever.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Even when
so
it's
exciting.
over,
yes.
One day one of our children might be in real estate and this is going to be out there in the universe somewhere.
That's right.
Isn't that cool?
I know, it's pretty fun.
I love that.
Okay, I've reached all of my notes, I think.
Let's see. I wrote down that to get me out of a funk.
Oh, yes, let's hear it.
I have to be alone.
Oh, driving over the bridge?
Yeah, I have to drive over the bridge, be alone. I have to find a way to tune out the noise.
Yes.
Of what, and I'll be honest with you, I'm still struggling with Instagram.
Oh, you are?
I'm just feeling like I'm supposed to always have something good to say and important, and I don't. Sometimes I just want to post a picture of my dog and put a heart with no word about it.
Well, you're allowed to do that. It's yours.
I know, and
you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
I'm supposed to be good at Instagram.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
My squares aren't that pretty. They don't have a theme.
I know. Well, look, it's okay.
They don't have a theme.
Squares don't have to be pretty.
But anyway, sometimes I just have to be okay, I need to not listen to what everybody is saying. We just came out of goal setting for 2020.
Oh, yeah.
That was hard, and just analyzing, what do I want?
Right.
Who cares what everybody else wants, whatever. And the only way I can do that is to be alone.
Okay, I think that's good.
As social as I am, I do have to have my alone time to decompress and reflect and be are you good?
Are you good?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good.
The podcast is asking, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
All good here. And then the last thing I wrote down, because I know we talked about how in seasons of life you cannot compare season to season.
Yes.
You cannot compare, if you're a new mom, you cannot compare yourself to the new realtor that, doesn't have kids or the realtor that has been doing this 20 years. It's different. But someone said that imitation isn't always flattering.
Oh, yeah, I saw this recently.
Yeah, it's robbing the world of what you have to offer.
It was Blake.
Oh, it was Blake.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
so it's
you.
Yeah, be you and what you are in your season. Maybe find someone else in a similar season.
That's what I think.
So that you can, you know, have that camaraderie there. Because that is a way of helping that person in the world in the same season instead of trying to be something you're not at the wrong time.
You also can't compare yourself to your own previous seasons.
Oh my gosh.
That's the hard part. You know what you could do or what you did do or what you can do, and you're not taking into account that your season in life is different.
Yeah.
So you have to really be mindful that you can't expect the same results from yourself if you're in a different, more challenging season.
And in conclusion, it's the holiday season.
It is the holiday season.
It can be demanding.
Oh my gosh, I hope you guys all made it through okay.
I hope you have your Christmas presents bought. I know that there's going to be several people out there wrapping presents
As
late
they
into
listen.
the night as
Maybe
they're
while they're
listening.
listening. Well, let me
Oh
tell
my
you who
gosh.
else might be wrapping their presents while they're listening.
You?
This girl right here. I don't know that I've ever made it to Christmas Eve with everything wrapped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's stressful.
It's a lot. It's stressful, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
But
It's
embrace
fun.
it. This is the
Yes.
holiday season. You're not supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know, killing it in every other area of life.
No, and remember on Christmas Day, when everyone in the world leaves you alone to be with your family, you can treat any day like that.
Yeah.
If you need a day off, pretend like it's Christmas.
Put that
and
phone on
just-
airplane mode.
That's right. Say, I can't do it today. And you don't have to because that's your season.
Yeah, I like it.
I love it.
Okay, our toast today.
Oh, right. Do you need to read it?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
It's perfect for this episode.
It is.
Yes, it was so good.
So good.
So, Casey Gray
Yep.
from California
Mm-hmm.
wants us to toast to Nikki Pardini,
Okay.
who was a transaction coordinator but has finally gone out on her own and is doing amazing as a realtor.
I love it.
She needs to not be so hard on herself because it's her first year.
Yeah, Nikki.
So
take it easy on yourself.
Take it easy. Celebrate your wins.
That's
and
right.
Stay motivated and excited.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to make it to year 5.
For sure.
So
I love it.
we are going to toast to Nikki.
Okay. Let's do it.
Thanks to Casey.
Oh, there you go, Nikki.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Episode 20.
All done.
We did it.
Woohoo.
Podcast success.
We won.
We've won. All right. Let's go deal with you. Okay, friends. Goodbye. Let's see if I can get over here and turn this thing off. If it worked, sometimes.